Hello, everyone. What is up? Welcome back to my channel. Happy Sunday to all of you. I hope you're having a good one. Thank you for being patient with me as well. I had to set up some things with this one. Y'all let me know in the chat if you can hear me okay. I want to make sure I've got my mic up high enough and it's not too low. So if you guys could just give me a thumbs up or something in the chat, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if the lighting's a little off, we're a work in progress over here, okay? We're a one-man band and I'm working on it. So with each one of these streams, hopefully the quality will get better and better for you guys, okay? But thank y'all so much for being here. I hope you're having a good weekend. I hope things are well your way. Mine's good. It's been a beautiful sunny day. Yesterday was yucky and nasty, so it's a little wet out, but today's beautiful. It's not too cold. Sun's out, shining bright, and it's the perfect day to spill some tea or coffee, whatever you guys are drinking on, when it comes to all the latest updates with Jenelle and David Eason. Before we get into it, there's a lot to catch up on, and we're gonna get into it. We've got an article from The Sun, which I did link in the description down below. If you guys want to read along with me, follow along with all of the latest information when it comes to Jenelle and David's recent court hearing with Barbara. And we're also going to be reacting to some videos from Jenelle as well. The main question, if you guys click for the thumbnail, the main question of the day is, was Jenelle and David really like bombarded by paparazzi at this court hearing, or are they just paranoid? I'm going to leave it up to you guys to decide as we look through some of her latest videos and her responses. I will say, as a parent, okay, I really try to put myself in other parents' shoes when they're going through things. And this whole situation with Jace and everything that has happened, which I am going to give a brief recap in just a moment. It is hard for me to understand their actions on social media. Like, their whole narrative is that, Jace's mental health is really bad and they're trying to protect their children and that they've done nothing wrong. It's not them, Jace is just really not well and they're trying to protect his mental health. Okay. I don't see how they can say that's what they're doing, though, because especially Jenelle, her responses and the things that she says on social media, feeding into the negativity, feeding into the toxicity, responding to it all, fighting back, the defensiveness, even though she says she's not doing that, she very much is. On a weekly basis, she is saying something else, and we've got quite a bit of that to look through as well, because we've not covered Jenelle and this whole situation in a couple of weeks, and a lot has happened. So that's the part that's hard for me to really wrap my head around, is the simple fact that her actions does not shine through as a concerned parent on social media specifically. I'm not saying she isn't a concerned parent. I'm saying her actions doesn't shine through as that. Okay, let me be very careful with my wording. I do also want to say, everything I say in this is my opinion and my opinion only, based off of the information we're going to be going through. Please don't be a petty Betty and send hate to anyone mentioned in this video or live stream. We're just here to have a conversation and not trying to send hate to anybody, because that's another one of those little narratives that Jenelle is trying to spin, is this is her haters, the trolls, not legitimate people who are just seeing all of this unravel and thinking to themselves, what in the world is she doing? What is she doing? What's really going on? it's actually crazy. So let me turn to chat and say hello to you guys really quick before we hop into this. Also, if you guys would please give this video a thumbs up, I would greatly appreciate it. Share it with anyone that you think may be interested in knowing all the latest information on all this. And yeah, so let me hey girls, what's up? Hello, hello. Make it make sense. How are you? Happy Sunday. I hope you're doing well, sugar. Miss E, hello. It's good to see some new faces in here. I do want to say thank you to Save Robbie. I was in a stream of his earlier today and he linked my stream. I thought that was really sweet. So thank you if he was to see this. Thank you. Let me real quick, hold on. I'm going to turn off the camera. I got to get a tissue paper. That way I'm not sniffling too much. Hold on. All right, you guys. Sorry. And we are back. My bad, y'all. I'm so sick. The kids, we're not going to get into it. I've already talked about this in every stream. I'm overcoming strep as we speak. So please bear with me. So hello to everybody in chat. Thank y'all for being here. I see Miss Pamela. Hello, Miss Pamela. Peach, hello. Zuna, what's up? Thank y'all so much for being here. I appreciate every single one of you. We're going to hop right into this because we've got a lot to unpack here. So, like I said, this past week, Jenelle had a court hearing with her mother. Let me pop this up, and I'm going to go ahead and take off this message off the screen. I'm sorry, I'm not fast at this at all, you guys, at all. Hey, Bliss, what's up? Leggings, hello. All right, so let's get into it. Now, in photos that you're seeing on the screen right now, exclusively obtained by the U.S. Sun, the volatile pair from Team Mom 2 made their way into a North Carolina courthouse on Tuesday, this past Tuesday, while making every effort to not be spotted. We're going to also react to that video here in just a few moments, but the pair were in court to face a judge who removed Jenelle's son Jace from her home following allegations that David assaulted him. David's presence at the hearing is surprising since he was removed from a previous CPS hearing due to not being allowed to contact the teen. However, as Jace was not in attendance this time, David was likely allowed to be there. That's why he was there. We already know when it comes to David, he's not going to miss an opportunity to show up. God, you guys, David is a whole problem. A source claimed that at the end of the day, the case is against David and his household, so his participation in the hearings when Jace isn't physically present does make sense. And I do agree. If he didn't show up, I feel like that would be a bad look for sure. An insider said that there was no significant movement toward a custody resolution during Tuesday's court appearance. There is still a CPS special hearing set for December 4th, and that session was earmarked to decide Jace's final custody. But the judgment is now being pushed further out. After the hearing, Barbara was the first to emerge from the courthouse. As she had arrived first to court, she had a look of surprise on her face when she noticed that David and Jenelle's car parked right next to hers in the middle of an otherwise empty row. After David dropped off Jenelle at the start of court, he pulled their SUV around back and parked right next to his mother-in-law. And I have to say this, let me take this off the screen really quick. I feel like God, David is very spiteful. We've seen this several times in different situations on social media with David. And just the way he holds himself, the way he speaks and everything, it is my opinion that David Eason is a spiteful person. We've seen that when it comes to his ex and everything that's kind of unraveled there. And he did that intentionally to cause some type of concern or fear into Barbara. I feel like he does things on purpose to cause fear, to make someone fear him. And it just really is disgusting behavior, especially when you know that is your child's grandmother slash mom who has literally raised your stepson. Like, it's just the lack of respect. And I know there's a long history there, but the lack of respect is just unreal. It's absolutely unreal. David nor Jenelle has ever respected Barbara. And while sometimes I've understood Jenelle's like concerns or the reason she would be upset with her mother, I do think that throughout this, instead of pointing fingers and trying to blame Barbara, they should look inward at their own actions and behavior as parents. But again, that is just my opinion. Now, this says that it was later revealed that they were filling out. Oh, okay. David and Jenelle spent another 45 minutes inside of the courthouse. So Barbara left with no issues other than looking a bit startled when she seen that Jenelle and David were parked beside of her. But David and Jenelle spent another 45 minutes inside of the courthouse. And according to The Sun, it was later revealed that they were filling out paperwork for bringing on David's attorney for his criminal CA case stemming from the alleged assault. During that hearing on Wednesday, a reporter from the U.S. Sun sat in court as attorney William Gore of Gore Law appeared for David, who was a no-show at court. William told the judge, Justice Brian Wilson, that it would be attorney Tara Gore representing David on the CA charge, but that Tara is currently on maternity leave and wouldn't be back until January 1st. An insider said that it was not a coincidence that David chose Tara, who is a new mother, for his representation in the CA case against him, and not William, who appeared in court on Tuesday. David was granted a continuance to January 18th for the criminal CA case. Now, the accusations here, for those of you, just for a quick recap on this, and then we're going to turn to some of Jenelle's recent content that is just unreal. Let me see what you guys are saying. I know, right? I'm rushing to get everyone's presents before Christmas. Oh, I know. Hey, Hank, Texas. It's good to see y'all, or it's good to see you. I hope you're having a good weekend. Yeah, Christmas is right around the corner, and I'm not prepared either. We haven't even put out our decorations yet, you guys. It's ridiculous. It really is. But let me go down. I'm way behind in chat, y'all. Okay, so for those of you who don't know the CA accusations at this point, just for a quick recap on this, David was accused of assaulting Jace outside of a neighbor's home in North Carolina back on September 28th. The Teen Mom 2 star, former star, allegedly attacked Jace after the teen ran away for a third time. David, quote unquote, willingly harmed his stepson and caused marks on his arm and neck, according to court documents which were first revealed by The Sun. The court filing stated that the defendant unlawfully and willingly did, being the parent of Jace Evans, who was a child less than 16 years of age, inflict physical injury on the child. The physical injury inflicted caused marks on their right arm and left and right side of the neck, and was inflicted by other than accidental means. After the alleged incident, Child Protective Services took custody of Jace. The teenager was then placed under the care of his grandmother, Barbara, but in mid-November, police discovered that Jace had run away from his grandmother's house yet again for about 2 days. Once they found him, he was hospitalized after that incident. But, gosh, you guys, I cannot, they're trying to make every excuse under the book on how this is okay. And again, I have to use this as an example. I am a parent, and I cannot think of not one reason to not only put your hands on your child, but minus even that, whipping a pot. Every parent does things differently. The neck, there is no excuse in the world to do anything like that. So the fact that Jenelle and David act as if they've done nothing wrong and that they're such good parents, it is very questionable. And of course, people are extremely concerned for the other kids in the home. The U.S. Sun has also previously revealed that David's daughter, Marissa, which we've discussed on here before, was questioned by Child Protective Services after the alleged assault on Jace. Marissa had spoken to CPS, and it was supposed to be with Jenelle and David's lawyer present, said an insider. Janelle's son, Kaiser, whom she shares with her ex, Nathan Griffith, and her daughter, Inslee, whom she shares with David, has also spoken to CPS at least once, according to the insider. One source told the U.S. Sun that Jace hasn't spoken to Jenelle since David's alleged attack. It says Jace has not spoken to Jenelle since the incident, and Jenelle hasn't reached out to try to talk to him either. All of this, again, you guys, is alleged. We don't know who the insiders are, but it would not surprise me. And I think that if I had Jace in my custody, or, Jace is to an age now where, yes, he is still a minor, he's still a child, but he can make choices like if he wants to talk to his mother on his own. He doesn't, Barbara can't push him. No one can push him to speak to them. And with everything that's transpired, I don't blame him. I do think Janelle's narrative is that Jace is unwell. He needs a lot of help with his mental health. He's going through all these things. Yeah, I bet so. And because I just don't see how else you could go through the life that Jace has without struggling. I know as a teenager myself, majority of teenagers do rebel. And that's just, your everyday average teenager. So imagine being Jace, having a camera stuck in your face, having no control over anything, and your whole life being put on a spotlight by the age of coming out the womb. It's sad. It's very sad. I hope the Ring camera shows it well. I took advantage of online. Oh, did you guys do a lot of shopping? That's awesome. Jenelle is afraid of David. She is afraid of losing everything. David is dangerous. Does anyone else think he looks like a huge lab project gone wrong? For sure, Pamela. And that's something I kind of go back and forth on about Jenelle being in fear. Of course, none of us really know, right? Like the public doesn't know more than what we see. But what I will say is it's something I go back and forth on because, again, her actions, and that doesn't mean anything. It's very possible she is afraid. And we had a whole conversation about that in my last live. It would make some things make sense on why she continuously, despite what she says, chooses, David over her family. However, her actions make me question if that's the case, or if she really is in this place of denial and really doesn't see that the things that are happening are dangerous for the kids, are dangerous in general. So I don't know. I definitely go back and forth, and you guys will see what I mean if you haven't seen her latest videos that we're going to look at. Now, when it comes to the whole paparazzi scene, we're going to go ahead and pop that up because y'all got to see this. This is crazy. So in the past, Jenelle has definitely had a lot of run-ins with the paparazzi, especially when it comes to the court hearings and things like that. They definitely, paparazzi definitely does their job and stays in the loop. And unfortunately, David and Jenelle have been in court a lot, you guys. When y'all see, she did like a little TikTok showing how many times they've been in court and how paparazzi have gotten them every time. It's actually crazy the amount of times they've been in court. And that's another thing that comes into question. It's like, this isn't a first time occurrence. I fully believe that even with the allegations now against David about him being, physically assaulting Jace, I personally do not believe that that's a first time occurrence either. I just think this is the first time they're getting caught. That is my opinion, of course, but that's what I believe. Let me share the screen with you guys so we can watch this together. Hey, Curls, I'm glad to see you back. Oh, you like my shirt? Thank you. A lovely supporter of mine got it for me for my birthday. Thanks, girls. I really do like it. I wear it all the time. Okay, let me share this over. It is very comfy. The only thing I don't like about it, I've had it for about a year now. The only thing I don't like about it is it does get like little fuzzies on it where it's black and they stick. But that happens with basically anything like that. So, all right, let me share this. Okay, let me make sure you guys can see it on your screen. Sometimes it takes it a moment to pop up. There we go. There we go. Let me make this full screen. I'm going to mute myself. We're going to watch this, you guys, and then I got some stuff to say about it. And I'm sure you guys will too if you haven't seen it already. Okay, so let's do it.
And there's paparazzi trying to follow me and Jason. This is bullshit. So y'all, I'm in the back seat right now. And we just got done with court, and there's paparazzi trying to follow me and chase me. David pulled up to the door and got me real quick. Are you paparazzi? Where are they at?
I don't know. We definitely went behind that in that parking lot behind the insurance company.
We're looking for a Jeep. We're looking for a Jeep. At least I look cute though if I did take pictures, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I got tinted windows, so we can see out, but they can't see in. Where? No way. Where are they at?
Straight across.
In that parking lot across the street?
Mm-hmm. You see it?
Yeah, I'm zooming in. That's a Jeep following us, y'all.
All right, so I'm sorry to stop it real quick, but I do want to say I feel like Jenelle's whole purpose in doing this was like a gotcha moment to the paparazzi, right? It's like, oh, you guys are always have a camera in my face. You guys are always putting my business out there. How does it feel? How does it feel for that to happen to you? But I think it kind of backfired because number one, a lot of people were in the comment section saying, how do you know that's paparazzi? You guys are just being paranoid. Now, granted, being David and Jenelle, I'm sure paparazzi, like we just said, paparazzi does follow them a lot. They've been followed a lot, very controversial. There's been a lot of problematic things happen to where, of course, the paparazzi does follow those situations. And I think because of that, they are extremely paranoid. So it could be both, but this isn't this isn't proof that they are a paparazzi. They literally zoom in on a Jeep, right, and say it could have been anyone. It could have been anyone. Someone that maybe knew, not necessarily paparazzi, but they did this, I think, to be a gotcha moment, even though there's no proof. Like you don't see someone in the Jeep. I got a close up of it and I'll show you guys in a second, but you don't see anyone in the Jeep like with a camera or anything like that. They're a pretty good distance away. The Jeep is a pretty decent little distance away. But I don't know. What do you guys think? I just think it's very odd to post this to social media in hindsight of everything you're going through, even if it was paparazzi, it makes sense the paparazzi would be following. You know what I mean? It would definitely make sense because, yet again, here they are in the middle of all of this stuff and a lot of allegations against them, yet again. It's just ridiculous. Okay, sorry, I just wanted to say that.
Wonder if they can see me.
Who done it?
I can see you though. My phone zooms in as much as your camera, bruh. So, if your boss asks why you didn't get pictures of Jenelle, say she went to Wendy's, she was too busy eating. Haha.
Here's one thing you
All right. So here's the thing. They're so conniving. That's another thing about them that just really is frustrating because there's nothing about this situation funny. However, they always just try to come off so smug and so like, huh, you thought you got me. It's just, oh, the whole thing's just not a good look. And this was her first little response, right? And like I said, we'll look at the comments, you guys. I mean, she is a public figure, so she's going to deal with paparazzi no matter hold on. No matter what, really, I get it's annoying, I'm sure, but that's what celebrities on any level deal with, especially with drama. Absolutely. And again, they're always in drama. Like the paparazzi wouldn't have to follow you if you wasn't always in a situation. And this is a very serious one as well that many of us have been following, the public have been following and want details on and updates on to know what's going on. It's very serious. It's nothing to joke about. And that is my main thing with Jenelle is I feel like she's always on social media kind of making jokes and cracking jokes. And I sit here thinking her excuse is she's an influencer. This is her job. She has to do this, all of that. And I get it, but at the same time, if I was in her position, I couldn't fake it. I couldn't. And so I couldn't fake the funk because it's my job. I would be heartbroken. I would be devastated. And I would also be doing everything in my power. Not saying she isn't. I'm just going based off of actions again that we see on social media. I would be doing everything in my power to not only get my child the care that they need, but to make sure that my home is a safe space for them. And if my own husband was the issue, I would leave. I would leave. And we've seen so many times David be a major issue when it comes to, in my opinion, the safety of the kids, the family as a whole, in different situations that definitely the public has been concerned about. CPS, this isn't the first CPS case, so much. And I just don't see how Jenelle ignores those things or acts like that's not the case. She posted something about a week ago that was just mind blowing to me. She did a little post on Instagram, and in it she was basically just like going on and on about how amazing her husband is and how she's so proud and so grateful to have him. And it was just all about him. And I'm like, in the middle of this situation, that wouldn't have even happened if it wasn't for your husband, if it wasn't for him getting physically aggressive with your child, then you wouldn't be in this situation to begin with. And it doesn't matter what their excuses are. Again, how do you overlook that? How can anything be overlooked about that? There's, again, no situation where I believe that is okay behavior. And I, for one, could not stay with my significant other if my significant other was the one putting my children in danger to begin with. And so that's where it's hard for me to put my shoot, to put myself in her position because I just wouldn't do those things as a parent. And it also makes it difficult for me to have a level of empathy for her because while I can understand it may be difficult, my children would always come first, even no matter how much I loved someone. And so it's just very frustrating. It's very frustrating. But I know this is getting on the longer side. You guys know I ramble a lot. So I do apologize, but I may do a little highlights for this one. Okay. That way it's not so bad. But I wanted to show you guys another one. So she did that one. And then literally like directly after the fact, she did a story time because of course, like I said, people in the comment section were saying, girl, this is not proof that that's paparazzi. You have zero proof. You literally zoom in on a Jeep. What if she was wrong? What if that was some person who was also at court and they're like, like the parent definitely a state of paranoia, I believe. Could have been paparazzi, I'm sure, but she does a story time and then she responds to a couple of comments. So we're going to look at those really quick as well because I think they're very interesting. Um, First, we're going to do our story time because she explains the difference between a reporter and paparazzi.
Who doesn't want more?
Sorry, I know that's loud. My bad, you guys. I meant to mute it. Okay. All right, here we go. Also, could you guys see that last video okay? Or was it glitchy or anything like that? Let me know. Yeah, I could never, especially if they're doing things. Absolutely, girl. Absolutely. She made it all up. You think so, Pamela? It's very possible. Or I don't know if it's even like a made up situation or if she fully believes it. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. That's something I go back and forth on. I think Jenelle is in a state of denial with a lot of this stuff, and I think she does. A part of her really does believe that they've done nothing wrong. They're great, whatever. And I don't know. It's very odd. I try to make sense of it, and this is just one of those I cannot make sense of. So let me pull this back up to where you guys can see it on screen. Hold on, let's do it this way. That way it's full screen. Okay, borderline personality disorder. Pamela, very possible. I'm not, a professional, but it's possible. It would make sense because we do see many different sides of Jenelle. Sometimes, yeah, something like that would make sense for sure. It was a little glitchy on my end, but not too bad. It cleaned up after a bit. Okay, good. Thank you for letting me know, Peach. I appreciate that. All right, so let's see how this one is. Unfortunately, I really believe what Jenelle says because of previous patterns. Yeah, Curls, I'm there too. And for a long time, I did give her the benefit of the doubt, but you just can't. It gets to that point where you can't turn the other cheek. I tried for a long time to support Jenelle in her growth and, overcoming her things that has happened in her past. And I did kind of find out of all the teen moms, she was the one I kind of found a connection to and could relate to due to her history with recovery, addiction, and just being a rebellious teen and all of these things. So, of course, as always, I rooted for the underdog, and I really did want to see her be able to grow and mature. And for a moment there, it did seem like that is what was happening. But, it's definitely a pattern. The dangerous, like the physical, like just all of it is definitely a pattern with Jenelle. And it's sad. It's really sad. I've had to come to that realization as well, so, and she wants to say, oh, well, the kids love me. Of course they do. Of course they do. Kids love their parents. And there are kids all over the world that go through a lot of trauma, a lot of physical and mental ABUSC, and they still very much love their parents because that's how it is. That's not proof of anything. It's actually very, very sad. It's like she's stuck at the age of 15 for sure, Bliss Chris. It does feel that way. It's really sad. It's devastating. But let's listen to this really quick, you guys. And then I got one more after this one, and we'll wrap it up. I won't keep y'all too long, but I haven't got a chance to look through this stuff, and it's just crazy, absolutely crazy.
Reporters and paparazzi are different. When you have, it's about to be one big story time, so let's get into it. First, let me start out explaining news reporters and paparazzi are different. When you have news reporters, they just report the news. They call people close to you, they get the story. They don't really travel. They don't like that unless they're going to like a wedding that's exclusive with the pictures and stuff, and both of them will be there. But usually, if it's not a big event, then they don't travel. But paparazzi do. Paparazzi will travel, they'll go to court dates, as you see with other celebrity news. So what you didn't see is I had my phone in the car the whole time in court. So finally, when I got to my phone, I started filming them following us. And we were trying to go to Wendy's to get something to eat. Now, we had to sit in the lobby and we had to wait on some paperwork. But while everyone else was leaving, we saw that the Jeep kept parking back and forth in the parking lot, like backing up and then finding a new parking spot and then finding a new one and finding different angles to look into the court window to see me and David in the lobby. And we had multiple people in the courthouse be like, y'all, they're right there outside the door. And I was like, is there a back door I can go through? Because I really don't want to deal with this right now. They're like, no, there's not a back door. You have to go through this door. I'm like, ah, great. So I was like, David, pull up. So David pulled up my car as far as he could, like right to the door, because you can pull it up right to the door there. And I jumped in, sneaked in, and they didn't see me. But then they followed us to Wendy's. But then they finally left us alone. But they have been harassing our neighbors, actually, which has been super fun. Just kidding. But besides that, the story time I was going to tell you is back when I was on the show, people hire.
Okay, so sorry, I just have to pause this real quick. So she goes through this whole thing telling us about the paparazzi, right? And I'm sitting here thinking to myself, the first words out of her mouth automatically makes it all go out the window. David told me that they were looking through the window. So she's taking David's word. She didn't see nothing. She didn't nothing, right? David did. And David is so credible, you guys. Didn't you know? David is so credible. So I'm sorry. I just had to point that out because she puts so much merit into him, and it's very confusing to me after everything he has put them through as a family, her and the kids. I just cannot even. And I don't know. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't doubt there's paparazzi because many are interested. Absolutely, Curls. I agree. I agree. But, and that's what I'm saying. I don't doubt there was paparazzi there. But to like not have proof and to do all this stuff and put this Jeep on social media and just do the most, right? Paparazzi, the thing is they're going to get pictures. The fact that they're hiding also, it's like, again, just my opinion, you guys, but the fact that she's trying to hide from the paparazzi, she don't want them to film her. She makes like a little joke and says, well, at least I look good today. But that's also interesting because if you know paparazzi follows you like that and everything, then why are you hiding? It's almost as if they're guilty of something or maybe have some shame or I don't know. And I'm sure it's a lot easier to say that when you're not being chased by paparazzi. I definitely wouldn't like it, but that's also why I didn't put me or my family all over television for years, a decade now, over a decade. And the thing is even after the show, Jenelle still made that choice with social media. And I don't see an issue with, sharing your kids, but the way it's not even that she shared the kids, it's this stuff. These are serious allegations. This is serious stuff. And at this point, it is a pattern from David and the family dog and that whole situation, the very long and drawn out CPS case where the kids did get removed, all of that. And this is almost on the heels of that. And in between it, there's been this constant battle between her and her mother with her son, Jace. So, it's been a mess. And to make the choice to share your life, even through all of that, what do you expect? People are going to be interested. People have watched y'all grow up, both Jace and Jenelle, so I don't know what they expect, Just remember, it's something you can't unsee. Yeah, I don't doubt there is just Yeah, it's crazy. But let's listen to this little story time. This is something I already knew, you guys, but we're going to listen to it anyways to hear her little story about paparazzi. And I find we'll go on to the next thing.
Paparazzi to take pictures of them. Back when I was filming, they told us, they said, you can't take paparazzi pictures. You can't get paid for it. We're the only ones, MTV is like, we're the only ones that are allowed to tell you what exclusives you can do with what tabloids. And you'll have paparazzi reach you sometimes privately. They'll even come to like your house or your driveway and they'll be like, hey, you want some money for some pictures? And I'm like, oh yeah, sure, I'll do a side gig. That's fine with me. And then while we're filming, they're filming over my shoulder and they filmed a text message that says, hey, I deposited the money in your account today. They got super pissed off at me. We had a team meeting. They said, if you do this again, we will fine you. We will fine you money and take it out of your paycheck. And they also shared with me, we already did this to Macy. She went and took paparazzi pictures and then we made her pay up. So yeah, if you didn't know, now you know. That's how paparazzi works.
I just want to add also, I think that's so shady to throw Macy in there. Like, girl, what Macy do to you? Like, keep Macy's business out your mouth. You know, it's just crazy. But so yeah, I found that interesting. And you see the little smirk, the little I don't know. It's just I don't like it, you guys, at all. Now, going back to David for just a moment before we watch this last video, which is much shorter, you guys. I do want to say that last month a judge did rule that Jenelle was not allowed to see or speak to her son Jace. Hold on, let me take this off the screen. Sorry, I meant to do that. Okay, there we go. My bad, y'all. She wasn't allowed to speak to her son Jace unless he instigated contact with her. So they were leaving it up. The court was leaving it up to Jace to make the decision if he wanted to speak to his mother. Meanwhile, David is completely banned from any interaction whatsoever with Jace, which is amazing. And that's according to these inside sources as well. Let's see. So the court is definitely doing everything they can to protect him, and there's a lot of other hearings coming up very soon to solidify where Jace will end up. But it's devastating because the one being affected by all of this emotionally, mentally is Jace. And that's why it's hard for me to understand, because to know that everything that you say and do on social media, everything that happens in court, everything is affecting your child, and to continue doing things, it just doesn't make sense. We're supposed to be made to believe, and I'm not saying she doesn't love him. I, I'm just saying we're supposed to believe that she's putting his well-being first and all of these things, while she's also doing things like currently doing things that are making matters worse for him. That's what doesn't make any sense to me about it. I would not talk about it to any extent. If I'm trying to protect my child, I don't want it out there. The public's going to talk, they're going to say stuff, but I would not be entertaining it or saying anything if it's a matter of my son's mental health and getting him the help he needs. I wouldn't be putting his information out there. I wouldn't be discussing it. I wouldn't anything. And everyone's different, obviously, but it just doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense to say we're doing what is best for our child and thinking about his safety and protecting him, while also actively speaking and saying things that is only making the drama and the chaos on social media worse and worse. So that leads us into this last video that I wanted to show you guys very quickly before we wrap this up. And this one, y'all, this one is, it's just uncalled for. There's just no sense in it. This is what I mean. She feeds right into it. It's another one of those situations where it's like positive or negative attention is still attention. And I do feel like Jenelle intentionally does these things, feeds the audience, the public, just enough to keep them heated, to keep them upset. I think she very much is aware that she's doing it. And I think it is from a very selfish place. It is not thinking of the greater good, in my opinion, for her family, her child, children, or even herself. It's all about that ego boost, that attention, keeping people clicking, things like that. She's like a whole troll, a whole little internet troll with the way that she operates and the way that it's very calculative. Every week she puts out at least one video of her discussing the situation to some extent and responding to comments or whatever. And I don't know. I just feel like if I were in this situation, if it were me, that's not what I would be. I wouldn't be doing that. I wouldn't be doing that. It doesn't make sense to do that. That's not protecting anybody in any way. Jeez.
You look like a responsible family guy looking for something.
Sorry, y'all. It won't let me skip this one. And I'm sorry, it's a little glitchy on my end too, you guys. I apologize. When I do this as the highlights, I will get clearer clips to add in. That way it's not so glitchy. I don't know what it looks like for y'all on your end, but it is a little glitchy on my end as well. And I do apologize for that, y'all. It's probably my Wi-Fi, knowing me. I have the best Wi-Fi you can have, and it still is glitchy. So my bad, y'all. My bad. All right. Let me pull up the comments here, pull them back up, and mute myself, and let's get into it.
Thing. But right now isn't the time to be discussing what is going on with my family.
Okay, sorry. I just wanted to say, so the comment up there, if you guys can't read it, it says, embarrassing that this is what you're worried about proving people wrong, or you're worried about proving people wrong about. And that was on the Paparazzi news reporter comment that people were making and just talking about like the paparazzi in general. And that's a comment someone left, which is, good to note as well. It doesn't really matter, in the grand big scheme of everything going on. It doesn't matter. Yet she's focusing on these things to get a reaction out of people. I feel like Jenelle never bonded with Jace due to her own selfishness. Yeah, I think you're right. Or, even if she did bond, quote unquote, quote, bond with him, I think that her selfishness and her own narcissism, in my opinion, and of course David's, definitely got in the way of them really, really having a close relationship. And it's sad because she does a lot of things that are beneficial to her, yet does hurt him. And the fact that she cannot see that for what it is makes that very clear to me. Like, the fact that she cannot see that for what it is really sad. It's really sad. So, okay, I just wanted to read that comment out loud in case you guys couldn't see it. And let's listen to the response. I would be silent on social media. Yeah, or if she wants to share like little tiny whatever, I'm not saying she couldn't post at all, but to speak on the situation to any extent, why? Especially while you're in actively going to court, it doesn't make sense. It just doesn't.
Girl, there's a time and place for everything. But right now isn't the time to be discussing what is going on with my family. So, no.
That is so frustrating. Now's not the time, right? Yet she does it every week. You guys can go look on her TikTok or her YouTube. She posts at least one video discussing the situation to some extent every single week. Now's not the time, you guys. Oh, it's so frustrating. That's what I mean. Her actions and her words don't match up. When she first came out, when this all first started happening, and she came out saying that she was going to do whatever she had to protect her child, I gave her I tried to give the benefit of the doubt and say, okay, it doesn't look good. It looks really, really bad. And it's not that I'm shocked because, again, this is a pattern with David as well. But I wanted to try to give her the benefit of the doubt because of what she was saying. And I was like, okay, we as the public don't know the whole story. We never do. We never do. These news outlets never do. They get it close, but we can't know everything until it happens. And I don't know. It's just very frustrating because in this situation, she says all these things and then it's the complete opposite. It's the complete opposite of what she says. What, just on YouTube then? I know, Zuna. Yeah, it's like it's you, Jenelle, that's bringing it up. Otherwise, most wouldn't be talking about it and would just give him privacy. Absolutely. Every single commentator or like reality TV star, reporter, whatever, that's discussing this has been discussing it and reacting to things that Jenelle and David are actively doing. Of course, we would probably report on it or cover it every court hearing because that's what you do. Keep everyone updated. But when it comes to actively making regular content, no one would have anything to talk about if y'all weren't doing things publicly to talk about. How do they not see that? And they know that. They know that it's all intentional. When it comes to the attention part of it, they do it on purpose. Very selfish, very selfish. Okay.
Oh, you don't know what I'm worried about. If I choose to be conceited as hell on social media and choose to keep my kids off or choose what I want to share, that's up to me. And honestly, I'm not trying to prove anything to anyone.
Okay, I'm sorry to stop it again, but she literally just said if I choose not to put my kids on the social media, she hasn't done that. Every one of her videos, if she's not talking about this to some extent, is her with her kids out doing some family outing, having a good time, doing all of that. So again, it doesn't match, Jenelle. It doesn't match. Yeah, you have the choice to not show them so much. You have the choice to not insert them into this situation on social media, but yet you do that. So it doesn't make sense. If you want it to be private and you don't want people to ask questions and you don't want people to do this or that, then you wouldn't be on social media talking about it. You wouldn't be doing any of this. You can't have your cake and eat it too. Ask for privacy, ask for respect, ask for all these things, but then turn around and be like a can of worms and constantly be talking about it and constantly trying to get people riled up with your comments and stuff like that. It's the internet. It's the internet. If you talk about it, guess what? Other people are going to talk about it. That's how the internet works, Jenelle. And she always brags about how she was one of the first influencer reality TV stars. She was one of the first to be verified. Well, then you should know how it works. She does know how it works. She knows she's being selfish. She knows she's being conceited, and she has no issue with it. She has no issue with it.
I'm just rambling on about a story time. That's all, because I share my life. It's really not that serious. I keep seeing comments like, take care of your kids, worry about your kids.
She literally just said, it's really not that serious. There's nothing about this situation that's not serious, Jenelle. And everyone is going to tie the two together because it is the main important thing going on. You can distract from that, but it doesn't take away from the reality. And it is that serious. It is that serious. Sorry, that just really riled me up, that comment. I'm sorry if y'all can hear the kids in the background too. They're being very loud. Hashtag mom live.
Every single day, 24/7. That's all I'm doing. Just because I don't have a camera stuck in my face anymore and you guys don't see every scope and aspect of my life doesn't mean that I don't take care of my children. Y'all are so worried about my life, yet you want me to stop posting, yet you still want to know more. It's very contradicting.
Oh, Janelle. Okay. So here's the thing. She says, y'all want me to stop posting, but then you want to know about my life. She can't, it's the internet. So you're going to have some people that are like, get off, right? Stop feeding into this. Stop giving attention to it. But then other people are going to be like, ooh, what's going on? What's the tea? What's the tea? It's the internet. That's how it works. But that's not an excuse. And then she contradicts herself. That's not an excuse to do what she's doing. And then she contradicts herself as well and says, just because I don't have a camera in my face 24/7 and you guys can't see what's going on, you do still very much post quite regularly. And I don't know. It's just, she just contradicts herself almost every single time she opens her mouth. Good, Peach. Good. Because they're being a little crazy. And I don't know how good this mic picks up, you know? I'll have to hear this back and just see how the audio is, play around with it. But she's just frustrating. The things she says and does frustrates the heck out of me, all. It really does.
The internet is very contradicting. You post something online about your kids, they're like, don't do that, you're exploiting them. And then if you don't post them, you're conceited. So which one is it? Do I take care of them or do I not take care of them?
I'm just going to say, I would never sit here and act as if I know one way or the other. I don't think people are saying that she doesn't. Maybe I'm wrong. You guys can correct me in the comments, but I don't think that the argument here is that Jenelle doesn't take care of her kids. I think the argument is, are the children safe? Does she give them a safe environment? Are they in good care with her? Not that does she take care of them. It's, are they in a healthy environment, a safe environment that's good for them? That's the question here at hand. And then when it comes to the conceited comment, see how she plays around with it and makes it fit what she wants it to mean. I don't think people call her conceited because she posts videos with just her. It's the way she speaks about herself. Like in one video, she was sitting there literally saying something along the lines of, like what I just said. She was sitting there saying, yeah, I was one of the first verified influencers. I've been around for so long. I know how things work. I know what to do. Da, 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 da. And it's like, okay, girl, conceited much? Like, you were on team mom, okay? Like, it's not that big of it. It's not that serious, you know? I don't know. She just does things like that. The way she discusses things or talks about things. It's just, it's very, very conceited. And like I said, with this whole her behavior in saying in one video, we're not going to talk about it for the safety of our children. And then in the next video, she brings it up. That seems very beneficial because it feels like she's doing it for the clicks and views, for the attention of it all, so that people will click on her and watch and leave a comment, engage, whether they're, again, positive or negative. It doesn't matter as long as she's getting paid, as long as she's getting the benefits from it. And that isn't thinking about the greater good of the children, in my personal opinion. So I think that's what people mean when they say you're conceited, you're selfish, you, all of those things. And she just makes it fit what she wants it to fit, you know? But y'all, again, y'all let me know what you think. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. I'd love to know. Okay, this is almost over. Sorry, you guys. I keep stopping it. The girl is constantly ugh.
I guess we will never know.
So Acorn is a
All right, you guys. So that is that. I just wanted to go through a few of those little videos with you because we haven't caught up on it the last couple of weeks. And I would love to know what y'all think just from seeing those. And like I said, I'll do a little highlight if you're a part of replay. I know this is an hour long. I'll do a little highlight just to shorten this up and make it a little bit easier to digest and without such glitchy clips. I don't know what's going on with the Wi-Fi, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, Pamela, it's nuts. It's for sure nuts. But I would. Okay. We'll let her in, baby. Sorry. Well, I'm glad she came to the door. I'm getting ready to shut it off. Woo, it's crazy. The hubby has to work on his trucks. That's a little wild. Dogs running around, all the things. I agree with you for sure. But yes, so let me wrap this up before it gets any crazier. Y'all let me know what you think of all of this in the comments down below. I would love to hear your thoughts and opinions on this one. Also, if you haven't already, please consider giving it a big thumbs up, subscribing, tapping the bell, all the good things. I'm going to try to go live once the hubby gets home. I'm not going to say a time yet. If you are subscribed, keep an eye on the community post because I do want to go through some new information when it comes to the Blueface, Krishan Rock, Jaden Alexis, crazy love triangle. It's not a triangle anymore. It's starting to get kind of like, but there's still a lot to talk about there. And I would like to do a little update on that as well for those of you who do follow the whole situation. So keep an eye on the community post or community tab because I will keep you guys updated over there. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one, you guys. Let me go ahead and get this up. Again, I know what you think. Thank y'all for coming. I hope y'all have a good remainder of your weekend. I appreciate every single one of you to the moon and stars. And until my next one, bye, guys.